Welcome back. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
My driver. It reverted. I can hear myself talk again in my headset. Well, this is going to be interesting. I'm not used to hearing my own voice. Let me see how it sounds on the stream. All right. I'm being cursed. Give me a second. It wouldn't be a live stream without an echo. Test. Okay. That's gonna have to do. Oh, it sounds terrible on my end, but it doesn't matter what I hear. It matters what you guys hear. All right, we're gonna go. All right, much better. Yeah, you know, I had to go. So, anyways, I had to go out, put me behind even farther, and buy the Steel Series headset. But it has a built-in driver to where you can monitor your own sound. And unfortunately, it reverted back to hearing my own sound after I had got a hold of tech support and stood on my head while patting my face and rubbing my belly. So anyways, we're going to move forward. Anyways, technical difficulties. We're back. We're back, folks. I got a lot to cover a little bit. Let's see where we're at currently. Okay, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to be doing here in a little bit. We're going to be going to Sacramento. I'm going. Guys, I'm going tomorrow. I'm going. Okay, we're going to Sacramento tomorrow. We're doing Sacramento. We're going to go hang out with the Sunflower Society. We're going to do the Independence Day, Ukrainian Independence Day. And we're going to do a car drive. Right here. That's going to be on the 24th. On the 23rd, we're going to do a night of prayer and hope at a Ukrainian church, which I've never been to. I've never been to a Ukrainian church. It is going to be beautiful music, heartfelt prayers. There's going to be an art exhibition as well. So far, thank you guys. You guys have paid the way for it. However, I am still short about 145 bucks. I've got the gas. Okay, so 145 bucks. I've got the gas money. I was able to get lodging for free. So the lodging for free is taken care of. One of the heads of the Sunflower Society is going to let me stay at her place on her sofa. And I'll take it. Because I'm not trying to put too much pressure on you guys. I know we just did the Car for Ukraine fundraiser. I'm calling the fundraiser for Car for Ukraine on my end. Let's take a peek at it. With our little community in Canty, 6,341 euros, but the total fundraiser is at over $250,000. We beat the goal. They're going to get the truck, guys. So we did as much as we could. This was a huge burden for everybody. I know it was, like financially. So you guys have the biggest hearts in the world. I know that, but I'm calling it on this end for me. If you guys want to continue to support this, by all means do. The description is pinned in the chat, but I'm going to call it because we have more things to cover. Well, Canty's going to Ukraine in like 9 days. So here's what I got. Anyways, you guys have been helping me out through the PayPal I have pinned. Here's what I got. I got a Super Stick telescopic phone holder for when we go driving. I got a new selfie stick because mine snapped. And I have gasoline for my big ass truck, and I got some cleaning stuff for it as well, along with like energy drinks, because you know I'm tired all the time. I'm still down like 145 bucks though. I have no like extra expense money. I think I got like 40 bucks to my name for this trip afterwards, guys. So I'm a little overextended. If you guys would like to help out, it's pinned in the description, but I'm gonna live stream from the church. I haven't been in church in a decade and a half, so going my first time back to church through a Ukrainian church is going to be kind of cool for me. I'm super excited about that. And also, oh man, my sound just keeps hating me today. It's okay. Here, let me turn this up a little bit. Turn it up a little bit. Also, we're going to be doing a fundraiser for my buddy Rowan, our friend of the channel, Rowan, Ukrainian fighter over in, well, he was in Ternopil. He moved back to the front. So he's in the front. We're going to do a face reveal today also for Rowan, guys. Ladies, hold on. He's a looker. All right. But we're going to do that here in a little bit. I'm going to go hang out with Olga, Svetlana, bless her heart's going to let me into her house to spend the night there. They've met Merc. They all went to the Ukrainian Action Summit. They met him there. So this is going to be really cool. Kind of cool thing to do. Yep. There's Olga and everybody, the whole gang. So we're going to go home. Svetlana, Anna, everybody's going to be there. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait to cover this for you guys. The next 2 days, this is going to happen. It's probably going to be a little bit into the evening on the stream. I don't know, like 6 p.m. maybe. But I'll go live tomorrow, so stand by. And then the next day is Ukrainian Independence Day. That's when we're going to do the car drive. I'm still in the process of cleaning my vehicle. So thank you guys for the new equipment. Please, it would be nice if you guys could do it. Look at like 100. I got $5 last night on my gaming stream. $145 more, and I would be comfy, cozy for the trip. But we're gonna do it anyways, regardless. It is what it is. I'll eat top ramen if I have to. I'm not. I'm not super worried about it. It'll work. Don't say that so loud while I'm sitting next to my husband. Now he's watching my. Oh, okay. Oh, LJ. Yeah, I'm gonna bring some of your stuff too. So hey, LJ. Let me know. I'm gonna raffle one later. I'm gonna put you on blast. Taking one of these. Which one do you want me to bring to the Azov defender who was in captivity? Let me know. There, blasted. LG's blasted. Okay, so that's the plan. Going to the event. Could use a little more support on that. PayPal in the description. And yeah. Oh man, you should go live on it. Get some video footage, Steve. Put it in the Discord. Yeah, it should be a good event. Last year, I did a live stream last year at Ukrainian Independence Day. Where's my channel? Where's Renegade Chungus at? Renegade. It's funny because like a lot of the Ukrainians that live in SAC didn't know who Renegade Chungus was. And then they start figuring out who I am, and then they start friending me on Instagram and stuff. They're like, oh, I know who he is. Who the hell is it? Renegade Chungus. Anyways, for me, okay, here's for me. I know it was a while ago. Yeah, we've been through a lot of streams since then, yeah. No, not for me. Past live streams. Here we go. It's on my YouTube channel. Dang, I've covered a lot. We've been covering a lot, guys. We've been growing, going a long way, doing a lot of stuff. But Rowan's next, guys. Where am I? I know I live streamed that. Was it way early? What's up with all the NAFO dogs on my stream? Alright, is this live? Yeah. Yep. Oh my god, what's up with the raccoon and a... Yeah, never mind. God, I can't even find my way through this. Yeah, channel's growing though. Anywho, I was there... Oh, you're right here.
I'll go put them on my backpack. I just got hooked up. I got hooked up! Look, fresh garlic and onions, guys.
Got fresh garlic. Got to hang out.
Olga's over here taking pictures of me.
In California to Ukraine. It means the world to them.
Say hi to Olga, guys.
That's actually one of the rallies. So we're gonna go see Olga again.
Brought a few extra people today.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh my god, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, that wasn't the Independence Day celebration, but I did stream it. Maybe I didn't put it linked. Anyways, Olga. Cool thing about Olga is she was on Fox 40 the other day. I'm gonna play it again.
And here at home, over 20,000 Ukrainian refugees have resettled in the Sacramento area since the full-scale Russian invasion over 3 years ago now. Fox 40's Juliet Smith joins us now live from the First Ukrainian Church in Carmichael, where Ukrainians and community leaders are gathering tonight as today's historic meeting between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin has now wrapped up. Hi, Juliet.
Good evening, Riley. As you know, Sacramento County is home to one of the largest populations of Ukrainian immigrants across the entire country. And earlier today, I spoke with some of those Ukrainian residents and visitors as they brace for the real-life impact of that face-to-face meeting between President Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin.
Everybody's tired, but at the same time, we don't want just a peace that will cause tomorrow even more issues for Ukraine.
It's been over 1,000 days since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
Nobody really believed that something like that can happen. in our days, in 21st century.
As Ukrainian Americans in Sacramento watch the Trump-Putin summit from afar, they're focused on the impact it'll have on family and friends.
My classmates are losing limbs on this war. Pastor of my church was killed.
15-year-old Alex Ashikman is a living example of this price. At just 12 years old, he lost his leg to a Russian missile strike that hit his backyard in Mariupol.
So I don't know if we'll be able to see these gentlemen. They might be going to the Capitol because UA's doing an event there too. I'm hanging out with Sunflower Society. So these guys, they're supposed to be in SAC. I don't know if we'll get to meet them.
Doctor cut my leg because...
But Olga definitely.
They can't save it. So right now it's good because I have prosthetic. So I'm back to life.
He and his doctor, Yakov Gradiner of Protez Foundation, a nonprofit that provides prosthetics to Ukrainian amputees, are traveling to Sacramento to speak with the community. Dr. Gradiner says they've already helped over 700 patients.
One of the greatest things are to see when civilians or military soldiers are fitted these prosthetics, they go back, they get married, they have kids.
Those we spoke with say they're hopeful while remaining in touch with reality.
It's great that there is desire from President Trump to talk and make peace. Definitely, we are concerned as Ukrainian in what expense that will happen, because we already paid so much.
I want United States, which I have chosen as a second home for myself. I want to see its strengths today, and I want to see weakness of aggressor state, also known as Russian Federation. I think my best case scenario today that Russia finally can understand their place.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about the Sunflower Society or the Protez Foundation, you could head to fox40.com for more information. And with that, that is the latest, reporting live in Sacramento County, covering local news that matters. Juliet Smith, Fox 40 News.
All right, Fox 40 with a little Olga there. We'll be seeing Olga. So that's what I'm hoping to go to. Hey, BB. Hey, shout out to BB. BB is Blonde Bombsheller. My moderator is in some shit right now with the hurricane. So guys, prayers out to BB right now. She's been there every time I need it. I know she's super busy right now. I wasn't expecting her to be here after hearing what is going on. But there is stuff going on with Hurricane Aaron in her area. And it is not looking too good. And I didn't think it was going to be this crazy. But it is looking like it is getting very, very crazy right now. Very crazy. To the point where if they have a live feed up, I might have to switch to that here in a little bit. See if I can shoot this over to me real quick. BB, I'm going to play that YouTube link you just sent. BB, Blonde Bombsheller is going through some shit right now, guys. Let's see if I can find it real quick. And then we'll get on to the main topic of the program tonight, even though this is kind of superseding it.
New Jersey, USA, August 21st, 2025.
Holy crap.
That was a big one.
What the hell is wrong with people?
It's like the Titanic. Nice and slow.
You better watch out.
This is wild.
Coastal flooding remains a major concern along the Jersey Shore as Hurricane Aaron continues to churn offshore. bringing dangerous surf and rip currents. On Thursday night, emergency vehicles were stationed on flood-prone streets as high tide approached.
Those kids need to know that water is toxic. When flood levels rise, that water is absolutely toxic. They should not be in that water.
Videos shared with social media showed flooding in towns. Earlier in the day, New Jersey government. Phil Murphy declared a state of emergency in anticipation of flooding and hazardous surf conditions.
Yeah.
This is wild.
In Wildwood, one of the city's major roads, Rio Grande Avenue, was closed due to high flood waters, according to the City of Wildwood Police Department. Photos and videos posted to social media also showed flooding in Long Beach Island, Atlantic City, Ocean City, Manasquan, Margate City, and other areas of the Jersey Shore.
Damn, dude. I would absolutely flip out on one of my kids if I caught them in a kayak without a life vest. Oh my God. They wouldn't be in a bathtub for like a week. You get to take a shower.
Evacuations are also underway in Egg Harbor Township in Atlantic County, as Hurricane Aaron's impacts are being felt across New Jersey on Thursday. Guests in motels and residents of homes in low-lying areas of town were being evacuated due to flooding. Egg Harbor Township Police Chief Frederick Spano told the media around 8:30 p.m.
LJ Boone says, "Don't you know that's RFK's approved bathwater?" Dead.
On the fence. He's coming. Getting there.
Hurricane Aaron, the first Atlantic hurricane of 2025, formed on August 11 near the Cabo Verde Islands, a few hundred miles from Africa's western coast. While the hurricane is not making landfall on the east coast, it is bringing rip tides, high waves, and the potential for flooding as it moves northward.
Is that a shark? Oh my God. Bro.
We're stuck here.
There you go. We're trying to get a little closer here. There you go. We got some spray.
What was this filmed on? This is like a camcorder film.
Aaron's strength has fluctuated significantly over the past week. Aaron lost some strength Tuesday and dropped to a Category 2 hurricane as it moved northward, roughly parallel to the east coast. However, its maximum sustained winds were around 100 miles per hour, 160 kilometers per hour on Thursday. Aaron could become a major hurricane again before finally weakening by Friday, the National Hurricane Center in Miami said. Although the Weather Center was confident Aaron would not make direct landfall in the United States, authorities warned that water conditions along the East Coast remain dangerous.
Of course, there's going to be those handful of people that go in there and start surfing. Ooh, yuck. See, that's what I'm talking about. Right there. Why would you want a kayak in that? People don't realize where that water is coming from. Yuck.
We're on LBI, and look at that boat over there. It's almost cresting the ground.
Hey, Cypher.
The storm
thank you.
kicked up
Thank you
big
for being
waves
here.
along the mid-Atlantic coast and began a slow march out to sea after pelting North Carolina's Outer Banks with strong winds and swells that flooded a few places on the barrier islands. The storm will continue to bring the threat of dangerous rip currents and coastal flooding into the weekend, even as forecasters predict it will gradually weaken.
Matt, be careful. Paige! Where's your sister?
Dang, look at that shit. That little freaking Coast Guard cutter.
In Monmouth County, the wind is blowing from the northeast at 16 miles per hour, and the temperature is 68 degrees with 70% humidity. Visibility is 10 miles. Meanwhile in Ocean County, the wind is blowing from the northeast at 17 miles per hour, and the temperature is 68 degrees with 70% humidity. Visibility is 10 miles.
This was yesterday? Yeah.
Eso es un cosa.
Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. Well, hey, I'm glad the floodwaters are going down on that. That is cray cray, guys. Cray cray. I'm glad you're okay, BB. I'm sorry about your family's property flooding, but geez, wild. 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 All right, we're gonna get into it. All right, before we do that, like I said, we're gonna be transitioning. The next fundraiser I pick up is gonna be for Rowan, our buddy Rowan. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna meet Rowan right now. We're gonna do the face reveal. Just give you guys a little teaser. Ladies, back off. He's married, okay? All right, here we go. Hey, he did this video. I did not. I gotta cut the music. I'm probably gonna lose monetization for playing this shit, but it's hilarious. He made this video.
Si tú me vieras como te veo yo, si me quisieras como te quiero yo, te juro no acabaría nuestro amor.
What a fucking ham.
Déjame consentirte.
Yeah. All right. Hey, there's Rowan. We're gonna continue to help Rowan after this. We're gonna pick up a fundraiser for him. But that's our dude right there, right? We got more videos on the way. I don't know if he's gonna do the I still owe you guys a macaroni. Maybe we can get Rowan to do one too. All right. But that's the next fundraiser we're going to pick up. It's going to be for him. He's back to the front. Back to the front. I know. Let's play it again one more time. I love this shit.
Si tú me vieras como te veo yo, si me quisieras como te quiero yo, te juro no acabaría nuestro amor. Déjame consentirte.
Oh my god, he's hilarious. Anyways, he's a freaking amazing guy. Really amazing guy. So we're gonna continue to help him. Got some other pictures I'll share with you later. When he told me he had a concussion, I didn't realize he had like a freaking 7-inch laceration in his skull from a drone that almost killed him. I mean, that's why. Remember when Paige went and brought him the new helmet? I could see why. Like, he has staples in his head. He's been in and out of the hospital for schismatic issues. But he got wounded. Like, it wasn't, oh, I almost got blown up, have a light concussion. He told me light concussion. This dude almost died. Almost died. He's friends with my friends in Sacramento. He's friends with Angela and Oleg, friends in Sacramento, the ones that need help with the first fundraiser. So we're going to be picking up a little more for him. I think he's got like 5 or 6 guys left out of his original group because a lot of them were killed around the beginning of the year. So that is going to be LJ. I'm happily married and he's too young. I'm happily married and he's too young. Anyways, yeah. So he lost a lot of his men. There's only he's got like a half a dozen dudes, if that, left from his original group. But they are back at it. They're back to the front. Not going to give what direction right now, but we're going to help. He is not. No, I believe he was at the front near Pokeros when he almost got blown up. But I remember he sent me a message. He said 42 of his guys got killed in an attack, and it was brutal. It was terrible. So he's been in recovery ever since. He almost got killed a week later. It was about a week later, maybe a month later. I don't know. Time flies by. And I didn't know how bad it was, but now I know how bad it was. It was way worse than he let on. It's hard to get this guy a pair of socks because he doesn't tell you what he needs because he's stubborn. But we're gonna help him. We're gonna help him. What else do I got before we hit it? Let's hit it. Oh yeah, and Canty's going back to Ukraine here soon. Like a little over a week, so I think we should move on supporting him. So I'm gonna cut fundraising after today. This one is for myself, that's pinned in the description. $145 would be great, or it's gonna be a little rough, I'm not gonna lie, but it's independent journalism. I'm broke. It was an expensive summer for me, the kids, back to school, birthdays, the vacation we had to do. I'm broke. If I have to eat top ramen as an independent journalist, fine, but I want to get back on the ground. Looking for $145. Today's the last day I'm going to ask for it because I don't even know if I can pull it over the weekend. So if you guys could support my work, we'll be in Sacramento tomorrow. We'll be hanging out with Ukrainians at a church. We'll be hanging out the next day at a drive around. Like I said, I got the new mount. I'll show it again. I got the new phone mount for my truck. Got the new selfie stick. I couldn't afford the additional battery pack right now. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Gasoline's full. Got the equipment. I got the bare minimum, but we'll do it. So we're gonna go do it, and we'll go from there. On to Alligator Alcatraz. Where are we? What happened today, you guys? You guys know what happened today? Here, we'll bring up a news article about it. I'll show you what happened today. Some good stuff happened today. Judge Kathleen Williams ordered the shutdown and dismantling of Alligator Alcatraz. Let's see where I can... Miami Herald has a good article. Bring it over here. Right here. Judge orders Alligator Alcatraz shut down in 60 days. Says no more new detainees. And before you think this is some sort of humanitarian effort, this was not the basis of this. It was not shut down for the reasons of a humanitarian effort. I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to read it. So basically, U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams has ordered the closure of dismantling of the Alligator Alcatraz immigrant detention facility located in the Florida Everglades. Her ruling on, what was it, yesterday, prevents further expansion of the facility. I'll put her face up. I'll put her face up. She's kind of a hero. She is Obama appointed as well, so get ready for the right to come out and say she's a liberal Democrat judge. They are going to say this. The judge sided with the environmental groups and also the Miccosukee tribe, who argued the facility built on an airstrip within the Big Cypress National Preserve was a significant damage to the fragile Everglades ecosystem and wildlife. Now, every governor, everybody in Florida, everybody has been they've been super tight on anything to do with the Everglades as far as preserving them, because it is a fragile ecosystem and it can be destroyed very easily. So she's going based off of that. From past history of the Everglades, they tried to build something there. I think it was back in the 1950s, and it was denied because they know it will damage the ecosystem there. And that was their basis for this. Are there humanitarian issues? We're going to get into that. Yes, there's a lot going on with that. A lot. What is the environmental damage? Habitat loss, increased mortality of endangered species, risk to wetlands and water supply, light pollution, harmful water run. The lights alone can mess with the animals and also the inmates. We'll get into that too. Disruption of natural activity. All this was basis for them to say no more, get your shit out, find somewhere else to do it. And that's what they're doing. They're already actually, I think, what's his name, DeSantis, They're already opening another facility like Alligator Alcatraz. So animals like the Florida bonneted bat, Everglades snail, kite, wood stork, eastern indigo snake, stuff like that is all being affected. Also, the water quality runoff. At least 20 additional acres of asphalt can lead to increased water runoff. There's other reasons. Nutrient runoff. Nutrient runoff's a big thing in California. I don't know if you guys know that. We can't even pressure wash any more buildings, I believe, for cleaning purposes. If you do, you have to find a way to retrieve the water. The facility's operations involve significant water consumption, the lack of proper water waste management. Water waste management could contaminate wetlands and groundwater. Guys, Alligator Alcatraz, there are reports that they were also bringing in incinerators. Incinerators for trash. Not cool. Not cool to have something, the closest thing you can resemble to a concentration camp, to have incinerators in the United States of America. And we're not talking like Gitmo, right? We're talking on American soil. And there's serious concerns. There's alleged abuse reports coming out from guards. There's guards coming out and saying that the conditions there were shit. What else is there? There's reports that there's a new respiratory illness that's spreading through there. There's reports of the prisoners only getting one meal a day with moldy, rotten food. Yeah, and all that's happening right now underneath our eyes. Well, it was, but it sounds like it is getting shut down. And it sounds like the federal government is backing out of it anyways. I know they're going to appeal it just to save face, I'd imagine, but this is a failed cause, costing the American people $450 million. So they have failed. They have failed to produce their Alligator Alcatraz. It was all about fear. It's all about fear and intimidation. That's how this government runs. Yeah, so we'll get in a little of that. I got some clips saved for you I want to go through. We'll go through what's happening. And then I'll talk a little bit, if we got some time, about what's going on with Governor Newsom here in the great state of California. But we'll get to that in a bit. Let's pull up some TikTok feeds, and I'll show you what is going on. Cut the music. I don't know what that guy is. We'll start at the very beginning and go from there.
Is the FBI searching the home of former...
Nope, different topic.
Specifically, Ron DeSantis' administration decided to commit what many are considering an act of vandalism that sends a very clear...
Well, we'll get into that later, too. All right, here we go.
You guys have some amazing news. A judge just ruled that the Everglades detention facility, the internment camp, aka Alligator Alcatraz, has to halt operations within 60 days. This means essentially two things. Number one, as of today, as of right now, they cannot receive any new immigrants, thank God. Number two, they have 60 days to wind down the operations and tear down the outer fencing and other parts of it that are causing harm to the environment, which will essentially make the place inoperable. After I left the first time, I gave a speech on the House floor detailing what I saw, which puts it in the congressional record so it can be used in lawsuits. Another example is State Representative Ana Villascamani, who's here in Orlando, who actually served as a witness in the case and talked about what she saw behind those closed doors.
So not only that, I mean, we're talking about hurricanes right now, right? If a hurricane were to go through there, you're talking what? It can hold up to 5,000 people, and you're in the Everglades, and it's a Category 1 area, which means you are fucked if a hurricane comes. There's a lot to it. Like, there's safety issues. They knew this wasn't going to work. It's a death sentence.
A huge shout out to the 3 plaintiffs in the case that brought this lawsuit forward on the grounds that this internment camp is causing long-term permanent damage to the Everglades in our environment. The 3 groups are Friends of the Everglades, Center for Biological Diversity, and the Miccosukee Tribe. I'm also really proud of a lot of the information that myself and a lot of other elected officials were able to collect on our visits and our oversight visits to the internment camp. And this is why doing...
So this is Maxwell Frost. He's also the youngest senator and an amazing human being.
These oversight visits are so important, and that we use the privilege and the power that we have as electeds to shine a light on what's going on. It helps support lawsuits like this one. Now, the fight's not over, right? They want to build stuff like this across the entire country. And this lawsuit was brought forth and was successful on the basis of talking about the environment and the Everglades. That might not be the case in every other place they want to do this in. So we have to keep fighting. We have to keep demanding access to these facilities. Of course, the state can appeal this decision.
And
I assume they will. We'll see. It's
are.
going to be hard for them to get it overturned or changed. But the fight is still on no matter what. But what an amazing decision. And shout out to all the organizers, the people who brought this lawsuit forward. Let's keep fighting on behalf of immigrant families in this country.
All right, a little bit from Maxwell Frost on the situation. Woke up to that today.
Never called before.
Yeah, well, this is another one. Hey, this is good little take here. This is a 96-year-old woman, absolutely fed up. She's voted Republican her entire life. Absolutely fed up with the Trump administration.
Never called before, but I just wanted to make two statements. I'm 96 years old. I've lived in this world for a long time. I don't care if they're Democrats or Republican. They all tell fibs. But when are the people of the United States of America going to start standing up for God? Do you think that our Lord wants these children to be starving? And Mr. Trump, I am so very disappointed in you. I voted for you, and you have just turned us into a bunch of hateful, mean, horrible people. And it's just, I know we've got too many immigrants in this country, but my goodness, we don't
still got that ingrained bias, it's still there. The damn immigrants
have to be mean to them. That's not what this country is built on. I probably won't be here for the next election, but my goodness, I'll never, ever vote Republican, and I've been voting for 80 years. Never missed an election. I remember when Adelaide Stevens ran for the governor of Tennessee. He told a little fib, and I don't think it was a real fib. I don't think he believed it was anyway. And they just ran him out of the state for it.
And you wonder why they're trying to gerrymander Texas right now and why this is all started. The deep Republican base, all the elderly people, especially with the Medicaid cuts, dude, nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted this to happen, but they voted for it.
I can't believe that this country is letting things happen that's happening. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to have bothered you, ma'am. You're a sweet lady.
Betty, when is your birthday? You're 96. When are you going to hit 97?
I'll be 97 on April 30th. And, it just, I don't know. This country's just going in the wrong direction. It just saddens my heart. I don't hardly go to church anymore because even our churches have become political. I told the pastor, I said, I come here to study the Bible, to learn about God, our Lord, and you're up there talking about politics. This is just getting to be ridiculous. Thank you, ma'am.
That was Betty in...
Yes.
Kind of wild. Deep red. It took her 90-something years to figure it out, but holy cow. It's happening.
I just got out of the Everglades detention facility. I had another tour. Like I said before I went inside, the main reason I came here is to meet with a set of both constituents and people from the state that we had already cleared with the state, and it's the primary reason I came to Miami today from Orlando. I was unable to meet with any of the people that I was set out here to meet with. They said that they were transferred out, they were moved out. As of yesterday, the state had confirmed for me that I would be able to meet with them. So I'm extremely upset. This morning I was on the phone with a wife who was crying, saying, I don't know where my husband is. He has all these health conditions. I had a list of the questions to ask them. I was ready to speak with these folks. They have been transferred out of here. And again, just yesterday, the state had told me I could come speak with them. That's why I'm here. That's why I came down here again. So I'm very disturbed by that, number one. Why were they moved? Why were they moved so quickly? Why aren't they in there when I was told they would be in there and that I would be able to speak with them? The second part is I do have grave environmental concerns about what's going on in there. I saw things like the silt fencing being knocked down, which is supposed to be what keeps the Everglades clear and clean from things like leakage, whether it's from bathrooms. You talk about diesel tanks, gas tanks, fuel tanks, things like that. I saw leakage from a lot of the trailers and bathrooms and different things.
Dude, Florida does not mess around with protecting the Everglades. Like, even the Republicans are usually on board with this. So this current flip, it's obvious it came from the Trump administration, and they disregarded everything.
It's like that, and so there isn't consistency of the measures that they have taken to protect the environment. And so I think that the lawsuit that we're waiting on an answer on is the right thing to do. But I come out the same way I came out last time. I'm very disturbed. I will stay. It seems like the state itself understands that they could be told to shut this down, whether it's this week, next week, or in the future. There are only 336 people in there right now. Last time I came here, it was damn near 1,000. Just a few days ago, we heard the number was 400, 500.
Right, they're clearing people out. They're moving people out. People are getting sick. I think they realize, like, people are getting eaten by mosquitoes. There's viruses happening, respiratory illnesses. It's a breeding ground. It's a cesspool for disease, and it is a form of torture what they're doing to them.
They're down to 336. A lot less people in the facility right now. So these are the things I've seen. Still cages, still horrible conditions. I thought because there's much less people in here, maybe they'd spread people out amongst the cages a little bit more to not put 32 people in one. That's not the case. It's still 32 people per cage. And again, I'm just very distraught and disturbed at the fact that I wasn't able to see the men that I came here to see.
So they wouldn't let them show any of the men. But we have voice recordings of the men. There's more. There is more.
Shut it down!
Alligator Alcatraz ordered to essentially shut down for now. The federal judge in the case barred any new construction and demanded generators, fencing, lights, and more to be stripped away over the next 60 days. They're also not allowed to have any new detainees. This comes after environmental advocates and the Miccosukee tribe sued the state, saying proper environmental protocols were not followed when they built the detention center in 8 days. During last week's hearing, attorneys saying this.
This is known habitat for the Florida panther, an endangered species. Only about 200 exist in the wild, so any impact to their habitat can have really damaging effects to the future of the species. And there's also water quality concerns. The property itself is about 96% wetlands.
In her ruling, Judge Kathleen Williams said an environmental assessment was required before the site was built in the Everglades, but the defendants chose not to do so. She went on to say the state officials never sufficiently explained why the facility needed to be in the middle of the Florida Everglades. The environmentalists presented evidence that said more than 20 acres of protected wetlands had been paved over, and the intense lights scare away wildlife.
Our case, as a reminder, is all about pausing so that the government can comply with the National Environmental Policy Act, a common sense law that requires the government to look before it leaps, conduct an environmental impact study.
An attorney for Center for Biological Diversity, which is one of the environmental groups that sued, released a statement after the ruling saying, "This brutal detention center was burning a hole in the fabric of life that supports our most iconic wetland and a whole host of endangered species, from majestic Florida panthers to wizened wood storks. The judge's order came just in time to stop it all from unraveling." Friends of the Everglades also saying this decision sends a clear message that environmental laws must be respected by leaders at the highest levels of our government, and there are consequences for ignoring them. The Florida Attorney General, James
How much taxpayer money went to building and tearing down that? $450 million to put it up. So who knows to tear it down?
Meyer appeared on Fox News 2 weeks ago discussing the lawsuit.
This is a sham lawsuit. There's nothing about Alligator Alcatraz.
This is a grift, though. We already know that. There was campaign contributions from most of the big prisoner agencies, the money-making agencies. that went to the Trump administration. There's deals that were made. There was deals that were cut. It's public knowledge. So this is just another money-making grift to steal from the taxpayers.
As that comes close to the Everglades or infringing on
And
environmental concerns, that we will fight back and we will win.
Jeremy Redfern, the communications director for the Florida Attorney General, said just this week a judge in the same district as Judge Williams refused to hear a case because the Southern District of Florida was the improper venue for suits about Alligator Alcatraz. Once again, she oversteps her authority, and we will appeal this unlawful decision. He is talking about another federal judge in Miami dismissing part of a lawsuit earlier this week that claimed detainees were denied access to the legal system at the Immigration Detention Center. The judge then moved the remaining counts of the case to another court in Collier County, saying Miami-Dade was just not the proper jurisdiction.
Of course, nobody wants to take
This case
responsibility.
is not over. This injunction is just in place while the rest of this lawsuit continues to play out in court. So right now we do know the state of Florida has appealed the judge's decision, so we will see how all this unfolds.
More stolen taxpayer dollars. And for what?
I thought it would get better, but it never did. It's inhumane the way that they're keeping their residents. When I got there, it was overwhelming.
She shared her state of Florida credential, which lists her position as a corrections officer.
They said it was going to be 5 days on, 2 days off. I was aware that it was going to be the Alligator Alcatraz. We had to use the porta-johns. We didn't have hot water half the time. Our bathrooms were backed up. It looked like an oversized dog kennel.
So this is a corrections officer saying this place is like inhumane. Somebody who worked there. She did get fired. She goes and mentions it. She got fired. But holy cow.
She says each tent had 8 large cages.
Each pod holds 35 to 38 inmates. They have bunk beds in them. They have no sunlight. There's no clock in there. They don't even know what time of the day it is. They shower every other day or every 4 days. The bathrooms are backed up because you got so many people using them.
On rainy days, she says, the water pours into the tents.
Not everybody there is a criminal. These people are still human. You've pulled them from their livelihood. They're scared. They don't speak our language.
Lindsay says she was fired from the facility after she caught COVID.
So think of this. They're having issues right now because of rain with flooding. What would happen if, let's say, a Hurricane Aaron rolled through there? What would happen to that facility? It took, what, a week to put up? How long will it take for a hurricane to take down?
COVID, and was accused of altering medical paperwork submitted to the company. She denies the allegations and says she's coming forward because of what she saw.
And yeah, I was fired, and yeah, I'm pissed off, but more so than ever, they're doing wrong. I thought it would get better, but it's just...
They're doing wrong. Shout out to her for coming up. I know she got fired, but hey, a lot of people don't want to lose their job, until they do, and then guess what? They're going to come up and speak out about the atrocities that are happening. I'd like to see more people. This isn't the end. We're going to hear more reasons why. We haven't heard the reason why they're shipping people out. We're going to hear bits and pieces. It sounds like respiratory illness.
We brought this lawsuit because people...
Here is some of the people that helped get them out.
Who are being held at Alligator Alcatraz have had very little and limited access to talk to their attorneys. And until this weekend, were unable to file bond petitions to request release from custody. Now, as you know, these are basic constitutional rights that are afforded to anybody that is held in government custody. And what was happening at Alligator Alcatraz is simply unprecedented and not normal. What happened on Monday is that we actually secured a very important victory. Because of the lawsuit, the federal government has decided that they're going to reverse course, and they are now allowing immigrants who are held at Alligator Alcatraz the ability to petition the immigration court for release from detention, which is something that the government should have never been able to do in the first place. And I just have to underscore, it shouldn't take a lawsuit to force the government to abide by the law and by the Constitution. We brought this.
Good point. Tampa Bay lost their baseball stadium rooms last season with Milton. So yeah, and that's a baseball stadium. Jesus, think what happened to a little encampment, a little freaking one week concentration camp. But people are pissed off. People are pissed off at DeSantis too.
WrestleMania 3. Hey, what's up? Hey, stop.
Get out of here. 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 For WrestleMania.
People are not happy with DeSantis.
Hey, stop.
I don't see him lasting long. He's pissed off too. Yada yada.
Algo triste, algo desesperante. Es una especie de tortura.
These are the stories of migrants held at Alligator Alcatraz, a new detention facility deep in the Florida Everglades. Using a plan of the site shown during President Trump's visit and photos from media tours and social media, CNN created a 3D model to take you inside the site, where hundreds of immigrant detainees are being held. CNN spoke with 8 detainees to hear firsthand accounts of what conditions are like on the inside. Some asked not to be named for fear of retribution.
Because of the way that we have been treated, it has been a very terrible experience.
Gonzalo Almanza Valdez was detained by ICE when he showed up for a meeting with his probation officer.
It's 32 people per cell, or per cage, really, because this is a cage. It's a metal cage strapped in with zip ties.
Okay, and before people say, yeah, he's got a criminal record, before MAGA goes out there and say these guys are hardened criminals or the worst of the worst, let's talk track record. Let's talk January 6th and some of the people who went to the Capitol building and killed cops and did terrible things. Let's talk about their criminal history. It's absolute hypocrisy. It's bullshit. Some of these people don't even have criminal records, allegedly, that are in there. They're working for the state, cleaning yards, cleaning buildings, doing waste, everything that nobody wants, waste management, everything that nobody wants to do. And to say they're worse than worse, it's clear, this is clear racism. It's 100% racism, race-based. This guy, I believe this guy's a dreamer. He's a citizen, I'm pretty sure. Under DACA.
3 open toilets are shared by dozens of men who say there's no running water or sewage system. Roger Moreno, who has lived in the U.S. for more than 30 years...
Criminal record traffic violations. Wow.
...told CNN the rain makes it worse.
Wow.
Juan Palma Martinez has lived in the U.S. for more than 20 years and was also picked up by ICE at a routine meeting with his probation officer.
Ellos te exigen cuando vas caminando para la ducha que te pongas las manos en la cabeza como si fueras un mercenario, un preso. Los mosquitos comiendo en la ducha, hay más mosquitos que agua. Estamos como bajo una tortura con las luces prendidas constantemente. Yo ya no sé cuándo es de día.
So they won't turn off the lights, he's saying. They're on 24 hours. That is a form of torture that screws up the circadian rhythm. And God forbid any of these people have ADHD, because it will throw them off. It will absolutely throw them off, and they will have a terrible time there. They will outburst. Guess what? They will outburst. Then you're going to increase the chances of violence or resistance.
De noche no duermo. Me está afectando mentalmente y físicamente.
Ayer se fue el aire acondicionado. Tuvimos toda la mañana sin aire acondicionado.
Whole morning without air conditioning. The mosquitoes came in. Lots of mosquitoes came in because they get in from all sides. So the mosquitoes ate us.
The food is very terrible here. The portions are very small. Very, very, very small portions. People are having a hard time living here because they're starving.
The only line to the outside world are phones set up in the cells.
Nobody here has been able to see a loved one. Nobody has been able to see a lawyer here. It sucks. It sucks. There's no physical contact with the outside world other than these phone calls. It's not really more about me. It's about not being able to see my son. He's 6. He's about to turn 7 in November. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see him for his birthday.
I don't know about if you guys know, culturally, a Hispanic culture, birthdays are huge, especially for their kids. They have huge parties, music festivals, food, gifts, you name it. It's a big event. Every birthday matters. And he's going to miss his son's birthday. Oh, God, that fucking eats me up. My birthdays are smaller. I'm only part Hispanic. I never really stayed with the culture. I don't speak Spanish. I speak more Ukrainian than I do Spanish. But God damn it, when I hear my neighbor throwing on a big party for his kids, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. You can hear it all the way up and down the street when there's a birthday. All the way down to the street corner. Live bands. It's a big deal. He's going to miss it.
Most distressing for detainees, they say, was that in multiple cases, they haven't appeared in any state or federal detention system since they were arrested. That means families have been unable to track them.
No pensé que en el año 2025 en los Estados Unidos existiera un lugar como este. We're in the middle of the Everglades with constant reminder that we're locked up in a cage and anything can happen. A hurricane can hit us and we can all die and nobody would know.
Again, the Florida Department of Emergency Management says, as stated many times before, these claims are false. The facility is in good working order and detainees have access to drinking water, showers, and clean facilities for hygiene. Absolutely unreal. Unreal. By the way, their drinking water comes from the toilet system. Probably clean water, but would you want to drink out of a toilet? We'll get into that a little more too. This is unbelievable. This is happening.
What happens to the people who are sent to Alligator Alcatraz who are not criminals, who perhaps were there by accident?
Nobody is there by accident. These are people who have committed a crime against the United States by entering this country illegally.
But CBS News has learned many of those detainees have no criminal charges. And some, like Edgar, are dreamers. Edgar has lived in the U.S. for
That's another word. Another word for MAGA. Dreamers. As soon as I hear that, oh, dreamers. Oh, God, that dreamer. The dreamer.
25 years. He arrived when he was 13 years old and is a DACA recipient, an Obama-era program that offers temporary protection from deportation to undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. In June, the father of 3 U.S. citizen children was detained during a traffic stop. Edgar was among the first detainees sent to Alligator Alcatraz.
When he got arrested and he was taken there, I was actually worried for his life.
We spoke to his brother and his mom, who asked us to only use older photos of his kids to protect their privacy.
Que me lo están privando de su libertad, eso me tiene atada de manos.
The fact that he's being deprived of his freedom, that makes you feel like your hands are tied. Edgar is now in a different detention center in Florida. When we spoke with him on video call, he asked us to not use his name or show his face. Do you think the government made a mistake when they arrested you and sent you to Alligator Alcatraz?
Correct, yes. There's actually people who's innocent, like me.
When you were arrested and you told them, I have DACA status and it's active, what did they tell you?
He said DACA was canceled, that I will stand no chance in staying in the country.
What do you think is the point? What do you think you're in?
Make you lose your mind. It's like a torture and try to make you deport yourself.
And when I reached out to DHS, a spokesperson told me that the agency's position is that DACA does not confer any form of legal status in this country, that recipients are subject to arrest and deportation, and they encourage dreamers to, as they call it, self-deport. What happens?
Self-deporting dreamers. Dreamers who were... They've been here since they were children in the United States. They don't know any other country, and you're going to deport them to another country, a foreign country. It blows my freaking mind. You're going to... What happened to the party of the children? Epstein. It's fucking so hypocritical. Guys, hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already, please. More to come. I got more clips to share with you of an Alligator Alcatraz recap.
We have a really disturbing story coming out of Miami, Florida, from the Everglades detention facility dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, where a man was punished by ICE officials by being put outside for several hours.
Dude, look at the mosquitoes in this area. Like, when you think of mosquitoes, holy cow. When I think mosquitoes, I think of jungle, but you're talking the Everglades. Look at the mosquitoes there.
By complaining about the mosquitoes that were swarming him in the hot sun. According to the Miami Herald, Castillo says he was handcuffed and let outdoors in the sun as a punishment for attempting to go on a hunger strike inside the detention center. As mosquitoes swarmed him, he pleaded with the guards to bring him inside. He was kept outside for nearly 3 hours. Another person detained there says that he attempted to explain to the guards that he needed more time to finish eating his food because of his condition. He was born with a lung that was at 10% capacity since birth. The language barrier, however, was interpreted to be insubordination. As a result, he was struck in the ribs numerous times with a baton-like tool until an English-speaking detainee clarified the situation to guards. Not many people are talking about these stories. These are in the Miami Herald. Go read them. Go spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know.
Dude, when this hits the fan and people actually come out and they realize how bad it was, oh boy. Oh boy. Reminds you of Panama. I mean, what's the difference? They're the size of a horse. These are huge. Those are huge. I look at those, I'm like, no way those are mosquitoes. They're not California mosquitoes, boy.
This place needs to be shut the hell down. They are essentially packed into cages, wall-to-wall humans, 32 detainees per cage. There are 3 tiny toilets that are toilet units that have a sink attached to it. So they essentially drink, they get their drinking water and they brush their teeth where they poop in the same unit.
Unreal, dude. Unreal. We already saw this, but I think it was important to air this again.
Hi. Did you just come from the center?
Oh yeah.
What do you do there?
My cousin's in there, but
Did you get a chance to see him or not?
no, they're not letting nobody in.
What do you think about it?
He's not a criminal, man. He's here to work. He's been here 25 years with nothing on his record, and they won't even let him out.
No nothing. No ticket, no nothing. I don't know why he stay here.
Cutting the state's grass, doing everything for the state, paying his taxes. Yeah, he don't have no documents, but he's the one picking up and cutting y'all grass.
What does he say about it?
They're not getting treated. They're getting treated like prisoners, basically. And he got caught working. He didn't get caught doing anything else.
Has he got kids?
He has kids, yeah.
How old are his kids?
Little, like 10 and 8.
What do you think that says about this country right now?
Oh, without immigrants, this is gonna go down.
This country?
Oh, everything, yeah. Especially with the president they got. I don't know, we got a felon in the White House, right? But these are the people that he got in here that don't even got a ticket.
God damn, dude. Undocumented is not criminal? Yeah. Neither are the homeless. Neither are... Man. And he's patrolling D.C.? How'd that go? How'd the patrol in D.C. go?
I was able to see the detainees that were coming into the intake area, and they were shackled, and they started yelling, muy mal, letting us know that they were treated inhumanely. Not only that, but we're hearing reports from not only the detainees, but from some of the folks that have worked there, that they didn't initially have enough food to provide for the detainees as well as staff. And so they offered up this really hyper curated, uber sanitized tour, which was a field trip for some, but I was looking to go there to see what was happening, right? And for them to not allow us access, which is our statutory right as state lawmakers to go unannounced to state facilities, for them to not allow us to pop up unannounced a week prior and them to roll out the red carpet a little bit for us a week later just goes to show you that they have something to hide.
And let me ask you, it's pretty crazy how different the stories are from lawmakers who are allowed to go on this tour. Dems like yourself coming out and saying it's unsanitary, it was 85 degrees inside, it's bug infested, crowded. Republicans are walking out
Shout out
saying,
to Nick from In Time.
Didn't see anything of the sort. Somebody's not telling the truth here, it seems. And what do you tell American people who
Love you,
don't
Nick.
know who or what to believe?
Listen, when you have a $450 million taxpayer dollar failed stunt, you got to save face. At the end of the day, we were rushed. I was a part of the second tour. We were being rushed throughout our tour saying, hey, we need to hurry up. It's going to rain. Please hurry up. And then we said, no. We want to wait and see what happens when it rains, because we were hearing reports that sewage would come up when it would rain, the lights would go off. And then all of a sudden it was, hey, there's a security issue. We got to put the place on lockdown. We got to get you out of here. No explanation. They sent us away, and a few minutes later, it started raining. So they clearly.
I mean, it could be worse, Nick. You could be like in the cover band of an '80s rock group. I'm just saying, Just saying. All right, yep, bad timing. Bad timing to joke. Bad timing. Gosh dang it. Focus.
With the Alligator Alcatraz, is the idea that if some illegal immigrant escapes, they just get eaten by an alligator or a snake or something?
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If the snakes are fast, but alligators are, we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator. Okay?
We're going to teach them how to run from an alligator. We're going to teach them how to run from an alligator. Dude, this is... You guys remember that clip in Django Unchained? Where they're doing the tour of Candyland? You guys remember that clip? We're going to teach them how to run from an alligator.
Okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%.
With the alligator...
Unreal, dude. Unreal. More clips of what was going on there. Oh, shout out to the people who have been like following vehicles leaving the facilities and keeping them checked. Like there's all the people that have been out there volunteering their time. This is one gal.
This ambulance came out of Alligator Alcatraz today, and I followed it. I'm going to tell you where it went and what I saw. As soon as they left, their lights went off.
I love the speed limit.
This is the hospital and the entrance that the ambulances use. I was slow parking, so I didn't see them unload, and there's some legalities around that, but I will show you what I do have. I know it's hard to see because of the glare, but you can see multiple shirts that say security. This employee took a picture of me. He immediately went inside after that, so I guess he wanted to show someone. We know they're leaving the facility with their lights on, sometimes driving slow or stopping on the way to the emergency room, that they're bringing people from Alligator Alcatraz to there, and that there's security there with them. So far, we only have knowledge of them being brought to that hospital.
So a lot of people have probably gone to hospitals. It sounds like they were dispersing a lot of them. And now with the reports of respiratory illness, I'm really curious to see what that illness is and how it came about. Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes did it.
The conditions that we saw inside this internment camp, which it is nothing less than that description, were really appalling. They are using...
So we heard a little bit of this earlier, but Debbie Wasserman goes into a little more detail. Debbie Schultz.
Cages. These detainees are living in cages. The pictures that you've seen don't do it justice. They are essentially packed into cages, wall-to-wall humans, 32 detainees per cage. That is the only thing
Southern
inside
hospitality.
those cages are their bunk beds, and there are 3 tiny toilets that are toilet units that have a sink attached to it. They get their drinking water and they brush their teeth, where they poop in the same unit. The portions available for employees, large pieces of roast chicken, large sausages, and the detainees' lunches were a small, gray turkey and cheese sandwich, an apple and chips, and that's it. I brought
keep in mind, they're getting a sandwich, apple, and chips, but they're only getting there's reports of them only getting 1 meal a day and it being moldy. 1 meal a day, right?
Thermostat in with me, a manual thermostat. In the medical intake area, it was 85 degrees. This is inside the so-called air-conditioned tent. We could not meet with any detainees. They gave us no specific reason or authority why we couldn't. They refused us access and wouldn't even let us go into the dormitory where they were being encaged. So this is an appalling, outrageous...
So that far exceeds even OSHA regulations. For a workplace environment, 68 to 76 degrees Fahrenheit is what OSHA recommends. And they're in the mid-80s.
Environment to detain anyone. They say that there are only people who are in the final stages of deportation here. We have doubts about that. We've heard that there are detainees here who are not criminals, but we're going to need to ask a lot of follow-up questions.
I will tell you, I was in one of the...
So there is a little more here. Here we got more. Here we got some takes.
The fact that they were able to stop further construction on Alligator Alcatraz, and they are trying to completely stop operations through environmental laws, is phenomenal. Environmental groups and this tribe went in front of a federal judge to have Florida halt operations and construction of these camps because they're claiming that these camps operate on sensitive wetlands that house protected animals and plants that could reverse billions of dollars of restoration. And if you
they won this today. They won this today off of the environmental impact. I don't think they're going to win either on the humanitarian impact when people are interviewed.
Know anything about Florida, you know they take their restoration seriously. The judge has issued a temporary restraining order that halts all further construction in the area so that they can finish the lawsuit without things changing. But where this gets complex is the environmentalists are claiming that the detention center and Florida has broken National Environmental Policy Act, which is a federal thing. But Florida is arguing that this is a statewide thing because Florida itself is funding, building, and doing all this. But the environmentalists are claiming this would not be a thing without the federal input. So this is a federal problem. The judge has since stated that it is at minimum both federal and state. There's also a second lawsuit going on pertaining to civil rights because people at Alligator Alcatraz are being barred from seeing their lawyers.
So this is the one I'm really curious about. Oh yeah, I think this was thrown out of court because they said it was out of the jurisdiction and they pushed it to a different court. So more to come on this.
Held without charges, and the federal immigration court is canceling bond hearings, and that's a violation of constitutional rights. All of this is going to be at a hearing on August 18th, which is actually the day
Exactly, Nick. Wow. So basically it's okay to mistreat people, but not the local habitat. It is so hypocritical. And I think when the civil rights lawsuit is taken up, you're gonna see a massive lawsuit from these inmates, a massive one, especially with the reports of people being left outside in the mosquitoes because they had a medical condition, the miscommunication. Why don't they have translators readily available? And it was taking some of the English-speaking inmates to actually know what they were saying. Who is there running this facility? Who are these people? Who are they? Why don't they have translators on site? Why aren't they using the internet to translate? They don't care.
Or the Epstein files are supposed to be released via subpoena. I don't know how much I trust the court systems right now, let alone the fact that it's in Florida. O.J. Simpson and Casey Anthony. But Ron DeSantis also just agreed with the Miami courts in stopping the movement of local elections to 2026, which would have given Republicans the benefit of an extra year in the positions they're in. So it's a weird thing that he made a good decision for such a bad guy. As of right now, there's been no rulings because the environmental lawsuit hearing just happened. But when you have Trump and his administration finding loopholes to get these projects and camps off the ground, people need to get creative like this in trying to stop them.
So yeah, it's a failed project. They know it's a failed project. They spent $450 million. Now they're going to find some shitty... They're probably going to They're going to find ways to cut this program and make as much monetary value as possible. So if you've ever been in, if you ever seen major corporations or companies or anything move out of areas to where they had to, let's say their business went bankrupt. Let's say it's a lumber mill. I knew a lumber mill on the coast in Mendocino County that shut down. And they buried all their carcinogenic material into the ground because it was cheaper to do when they left. Right? And then they left the city with millions of dollars of cleanup project for all this carcinogenic material built on the shelf of the Pacific Ocean because it was cheaper to do. So when you're talking about $450 million to clean this up, well, shoot, if it's taxpayer money, right? What does it matter? Maybe it's gonna be $900 million to clean it up, you know? Oh, environmental causes now, right? It all depends where the money's coming from. It all depends where the money's going. It's a money-making operation. This facility was there as a grift. They probably knew it wasn't going to be a long-term thing. It was there for fear and intimidation. Taxpayer paid, $450 million gone, funneled. To who? To all the people that make for-profit prisons, right? Which I already reported on Trump cutting deals with them with his administration, which is public record. So this is just another grift. A $450 million grift, guys. Just one. At the expense of people's health and well-being and their mental health, and at the expense of the Everglades.
Breaking news, everyone. This is the toilet where we poop and pee, right? This is the water that feeds into that toilet, right? This reservoir is connected to the toilet bowl. The water is connected. The congressman that went to Alligator Alcatraz reported yesterday that the migrants and people detained there are having to drink the water from this reservoir, essentially, that is connected to the toilet that they poop in. Would you drink this water? No, I don't think so. And they're being forced to. Now, this is one of the many, many violations and human rights abuses going on at Alligator Alcatraz, and this needs to be stopped. This is not right. They're human beings. Whether they're here legally or illegally, this is not how we treat detainees in the United States of America. Let me know if you agree. Like if you do. Comment what you think about this. Share. Spread the word. Everyone needs to know about the abuses going on at this death camp in the United States. Check back for the 401, and I'll see you back.
So not only that, what if the water system backs up with flooding, which there's already reports of? Right? What if one of these systems fails and the reservoirs back up? Now we're hearing reports of disease, people with respiratory illness collapsing in this facility, asking for medical treatment, being left there. And the guards not knowing how to respond to this, right? We might have just started a new pandemic in the United States from this. And you know what? God forbid that happens. But if this is the case, it's probably deserving at that point. Like, how is this possible? How is this, you know, like I said, you hear reports from Gitmo and other prisons ran by the United States on foreign soil. This is happening here on our soil. We are allowing this to happen. And people cheer it on, right? MAGA taking photo shoots outside of Alligator Alcatraz. Loving it. Social media. We in here. Yuck.
Soy Leansi La Figura. Leansi Izquierdo on the phone describing what it's like inside the so-called Alligator Alcatraz. Says he's been at the detention facility out in the Everglades since Friday. Aquí no hay agua para uno bañarse.
There's no water here for people to bathe. It's been 4 days since I showered. There's nothing here for people to brush their teeth. They don't let us outside even for a minute to get some air.
400 people, he believes, are inside the facility.
They give us food only once a day. Food that has even been infested with worms. The lights are never turned off. They're on 24 hours a day. The mosquitoes are the size of elephants.
Izquierdo's partner, Katia, says he's a permanent resident who was arrested last week. First taken to TGK, then to Miramar, and finally to the Everglades facility.
Charged with aggravated assault with deadly weapon and battery.
The police report says it all has to do with a violent dispute with a tow company worker who was trying to repossess a jet ski.
A tow company worker. He got in a fight with a tow company. Have you guys ever experienced tow company workers before, especially on the East Coast or in the South? I had one of my Ukrainian friends from Sacramento call me and say, hey, can you make this go public? This tow company put a boot on their relatives, I think it was their cousin in North Carolina, put a boot on their vehicle and tried to extort them for cash money, thousands of dollars right then and there. And when he refused, they called in all of their backup. They called in like 4 or 5 tow trucks. They came out with brass knuckles and weapons and surrounded this man and scared him into paying the money. They've already been reported several times to the Better Business Bureau for this type of behavior. That is the type of tow companies you're talking about. And for this man to get in a fight with him means fuck all to me. Because that's the type of energy they give to the people that they put boots on their vehicle. That's not business, that's extortion. And for me to hear this guy is in Alligator Alcatraz because he got into some freaking argument with some truck driver and it got physical, you can fuck all the way off on that one.
We've reached out to ICE, but a spokesperson says they cannot talk about detainees who are not in one of their facilities. Remember, the Everglades Detention Center is run by the state, but the state has not responded to our request for information.
God, that pisses me off. I'm getting upset.
It's a death trap. You think people are going to die?
Yes, absolutely, people are going to die. There is no world in which makeshift tents or even temporary trailer setups would be able to withstand even a tropical storm. So there's wind ratings for every housing structure that's built in South Florida, and South Florida is at the highest risk, which means that any habitat that's built is supposed to be able to withstand, 110 mile per hour winds. They're in a wind zone where it should be rated to 110. But even trailers in South Florida are extremely dangerous places to be, even ones that are wind graded, if you have anything over 30 miles per hour. And, it's not even a tropical storm until it's much stronger than that. So a severe thunderstorm in this area is potentially deadly, much less anything bigger than that. And they're not in a Cat 2 or Cat 3 evacuation zone. They're in an A evacuation zone, which is the highest risk level for an evacuation that exists. It goes like A down to F. Part of the land is in D, but part of it is in A, right up to the highway. There's one road in, one road out. I mean, if you're talking about they're expanding to 5,000 people, I mean, you would need at least 100 buses to get all of the just detainees out of there, much less all the support staff and everybody else that they're claiming to have. The main problem will be is that when these storms start to approach, flooding already begins. By the time the Hurricane I gets onto landfall, if it's a large enough storm, it has already been raining for, 12 or 15 hours. If at any point that one road becomes impassable because of flooding, then no one can get out.
Yep, we knew that. That's probably why they're shuttling people out. They failed the first lawsuit. The civil lawsuit's coming for the civil rights violations. They probably know they're going to lose on that one too. These people are getting sick. They have respiratory illnesses. They've set themselves up for failure, and I don't think one of them give a damn. I think they're just going to try to wash their hands of this whole thing. And they're already trying to build new facilities. It's already happening.
We've been here at Alcatraz since Friday. There's over 400 people here. There's no water to take a bath. It's been 4 days since I've taken a bath.
La Figura goes on to talk about what he says are the horrific living conditions inside the facility.
They only brought a meal once a day and it had maggots. They never take off the lights for 24 hours. The mosquitoes are as big as elephants.
I want everybody to recognize that detention facilities that ICE adheres to is a higher standard than is required at state levels, at local Department of Corrections facilities, sheriff's offices. This is a state-of-the-art facility, air-conditioned, isolated though for security purposes, which is very helpful.
During the call, La Figura passes the phone to other detainees who describe their experience.
They're not respecting our human rights. We're human beings. We're not dogs. We're like rats in an experiment. I don't know their motive for doing this. If it's a form of torture, a lot of us have our residency documents and we don't understand why we're here.
Another man who says he's Colombian explains that he needs medication and that he hasn't had access to it in days.
I'm on the edge of losing my mind. I've gone 3 days without taking my medicine. It's impossible to sleep with this white light that's on all day.
The man goes on to say what little faith he's been holding on to.
Like I said before, if anybody has ADHD, throwing off their sarcaic rhythm will lead to violent incidences, right? And they're already denying medications, right? What if there's a psychological issue and you have these lights on 24/7? I have to turn a freaking light on every morning for my kid because he has ADHD to set his circadian rhythm. If that shit doesn't turn off, guess what? I get a phone call from the school. Your son's been in a fight. Come on, guys. What are we allowing? If he misses his medication, guess what? There's an outburst. If I don't turn that light on in the morning, or he falls asleep with his light on at night, guess what? There's an issue in the morning every time. God forbid it. I mean, it's only happened like once or twice. I make sure every night that light's turned off and he's in bed properly. Because people have issues. And it doesn't matter what color skin you have. ADHD affects everybody. Right? And if you throw somebody off on their sleep, especially if they have an underlying issue, oh my God, dude. You're setting something up for a really bad incident later.
Two has diminished since being detained at Alligator Alcatraz.
They took his Bible? Yeah. Okay.
The Bible I had, and they said, here there is no right to religion. And my Bible is the one thing that keeps my faith. And now I'm losing my faith.
There's pictures of water leaking inside the facilities right there. Unreal. There was a guard. There was a person that was fired actually from the facility for going live. There was a live on TikTok. He went live inside the facility. The live feed went down. There was video released as well. And the gentleman was fired. I have not been able to find that footage. There are many reports of it. I will keep looking for that, and hopefully he comes out and speaks to a major news organization so we can get more footage of that.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm a social worker. I drove from Missouri to Alligator Alcatraz, and I have a story to share with you. This is from a GoFundMe of a fiance of a detainee from Alligator Alcatraz, and it describes a little bit about what it's like being within Alligator Alcatraz, and I think many should hear it.
Okay, blah, 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 sure.
And
Thank you for being
here.
here.
If you have the capacity to donate to this GoFundMe, I'll link it below in the description. That would be very much appreciated. If you have the capacity to share and boost this video, that would also be very helpful. I'm going to read it off for you now. As some of you know me, my name is Jess, and my fiance's initial is E. E was detained in Alligator Alcatraz for nearly 3 weeks, and just a few days ago, he was transferred to El Paso Enhanced Hardened Facility. E fears deportation to Guatemala due to fear of being forced to work for MS-13, despite not ever having any history of gang affiliation. He wants to stay with his fiancée, his 3 children, and continue to be a hard worker and a dedicated father. While at Alligator Alcatraz, E feared for his life. He lived in a metal cage with 31 other men who shared 3 toilets, which were always unusable due to sewage backup. All water came from these toilets, for brushing his teeth, drinking, etc. E saw how his fellow detainees were given bracelets to show their threat level. Yellow is low, orange is medium, red is high. He was given an orange bracelet despite being kind, courteous, and calm. E witnessed detainees being hit repeatedly by guards and taken away. He watched as people around him disappeared, not knowing where they were going. He witnessed his fellow detainees fall sick and unconscious and get ignored by guards. E himself got an infection that took days for medical staff to acknowledge or treat, and even then, he only got 2 doses of antibiotics, several days apart. On the days leading up to his transfer, E was taken out of his cage and put into a tent and told he was being transported. He stayed in this tent for hours without answers, without knowing where he was going. He was put back in the cage and taken out of the cage with the same message several times for several days. Finally, he was told he was being transferred to Texas. Since arriving at the El Paso Enhanced Hardened Facility, E is beginning to lose hope. The facility is much like Alligator Alcatraz, but he reports it's much more crowded. He sleeps in a tent in the desert in the middle of a heat wave with average temperatures above 100 and on a mat on the floor. He got 1 5-minute phone call to his family, and he may not be able to talk on the phone again. We have been unable to find a pro bono lawyer for him who has the capacity to help his case. Many nonprofit organizations are over capacity and unable to help with this specific facility. We have been told that this facility has a goal to move people out as quickly as possible, whether they have had legal assistance or not, on average 72 hours, and we need to act as quickly as possible. We are asking for any and all help. We cannot afford a lawyer to help his case, and we barely can survive as a family due to the loss of his income. Please help our family. I'll link the GoFundMe in the bio. Please share this video if you have capacity. Thanks so much.
Absolutely wild, man. Absolutely wild. Well, at least there's volunteers out there, social workers. There's nurses that are speaking up about it. There's people that are watching the vehicles coming in and out to make sure they're complying with any law. God, You know, and there's been protests. We covered some of the protests out there. They were small. I'm sure nobody wanted to be in the middle of Everglades protesting, but yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely wild.
Breaking news. Florida Governor DeSantis, ICE, and Department of Homeland officials are covering up a mystery illness at Alligator Alcatraz. What? Yes, there appear to be detainees that are getting sick, many of them with a mystery illness. It's been reported through various individuals that are there, and here is the latest info that I have. A Venezuelan detainee, Luis Rivas Velasquez, was taken there, detained, 38 years old, in perfect health. And he started complaining for 2 days that he was having trouble breathing. And the guards just laughed at him and they denied him medical attention, medical care. It continued to get worse until he actually passed out and basically collapsed.
More reports of this,
yes,
too.
Yes, he passed out and collapsed after asking for
More reports
medical
of this.
care. And then he was taken on to Kendall Hospital in Kendall, which is southwest Miami. And he was treated there for some type of respiratory illness that has been reported. But the Alligator Alcatraz officials, whether it was under Governor DeSantis' control, under ICE, or under Department of Homeland Security, we don't know, took the medical records. There are many people that are complaining of being ill and not being able to see doctors, and with similar problems. What are they covering up is what is going on. This has been released from the McEntee law firm because they were later contacted by Luis and they got the information from him. They've requested the medical records but are being denied the medical records, it appears. No one wants to release medical records of what actually is going on.
How are they denying medical records to a law firm if he is representing that man? How is that legal? How is that legal? A law firm is taking this case and they're denying medical records. Hello, Lumi.
Other than supposedly some type of respiratory illness from an infection. From what?
Guys, Kim is in the chat. Kim, we have interviewed many times, advocacy from Sacramento. Hello, hello.
From what? What is causing people to get an infection or whatever else it is there that they're refusing to tell us about, and apparently not taking very well good care of the detainees. Clearly, if they're getting sick from a respiratory illness that they didn't have before, and they're getting at Alligator Alcatraz, sounds like a problem to me. What do you think? This is the latest, and I got more breaking on from the Judge Kathleen Williams too in another video. Love you for my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cougars, and burned out light bulbs. Let me know what you think.
Pretty wild, man. I can't wait to see what this respiratory illness was, right? Something probably pretty terrible. If you have mosquitoes, you've got people confined in an area in the Everglades in the perfect environment for breeding bacteria, disease, anything you can think of, viral respiratory illnesses. And now they're going to spread them out to different places. I'm not a rocket scientist, but that almost sounds manufactured. And then you got people like this outside of Alligator Alcatraz.
You guys like being fascist?
There you go, babe. We're all about Trump, babe.
God damn it.
You guys like being fascist?
I hope their grandchildren are proud.
We're all about Trump,
babe.
Yuck.
There is a deadly respiratory outbreak happening inside of Alligator Alcatraz right now, and it's exactly the disaster that public health experts have warned us about. Attorney Eric Lee said that they began feeling ill about 72 to 100 hours ago. Many of them are having trouble breathing and extreme coughing. They are being denied masks, and they are only given showers once to twice a week. One man collapsed inside of the cage and was hospitalized. He was then transferred to a camp in Texas, but his medical records and even his writings were confiscated. A former corrections officer that worked there said she got COVID from the unsanitary conditions, porta-johns, backed-up bathrooms, no hot water, no sunlight. The CDC has warned for years that detention centers are the perfect place for outbreaks. They are overcrowded, there's no ventilation, there's limited medical care, and that warning is coming true again. But this time it could not have been more predictable. This place was built in the Everglades, in tents, in trailers with no infrastructure, in the swamp heat. It was made for suffering, and the people are paying for it with their health. People are suffering now because we chose to ignore these warnings, and that suffering that is happening inside is also a public health crisis that could spread out.
And
There is
it
a
probably
deadly
will. If
respiratory
they're moving
outbreak.
people around, guys, who knows what they frickin' conjured up in that facility. It's absolutely disgusting.
That's just one of the phone calls we received from inside the detention facility, all indicating a medical emergency Tuesday of a Venezuelan man, now identified as Luis Manuel Rivas Velasquez, his family not knowing if he was dead or alive.
We heard from him this morning. Basically, he lost consciousness, passed out. They pulled him out of the facility, put him in an ambulance, and took him to a hospital in Miami. At which point he was chained to a bed while he was given treatment.
His attorneys tell us he's back at the facility.
He said that many people were sick at the facility with similar types of symptoms.
They're now accusing the facility of failing to provide adequate care for sick detainees. While DHS did not answer our questions about the allegations, the Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs says he fainted and was taken to the hospital out of precaution. ICE takes its commitment to protecting those in its custody very seriously.
Sure they do.
They're going to kill us here, and they treat us like beasts. That was the alarming message from a prisoner in Trump's ICE Gestapo prison, Alligator Alcatraz, that he told his girlfriend in a phone call that Status Quo exclusively obtained.
So much abuse, too much abuse. Yesterday in the dining hall, there was so much abuse. They were handcuffed. They stepped on his head. About 6 guards jumped on him. They hit us. They kicked us. So much abuse, too much abuse. So much abuse that we're enduring here in Alligator. Too much abuse. So much abuse here, I can't take it anymore. Where are the human resources? It's unbearable here. Now in another area, they fell to the floor. I think they fainted. I don't know. They don't even know how to act because they don't know how to revive someone. They don't know if the person died or not. We're very nervous because we don't know where we are. They abuse us in every way, with the food and the bathroom, everything. We have no rights here to anything, no humanitarian resources, nothing. We have no rights to anything. They treat us badly and inhumanely. We don't feel well. Oh, my love, I'm going to put this on the news. I don't know, my love. This is really bad. Send a kiss to my mother. Tell her everything is fine with me, but here, listen. This is really bad, my love. They're mistreating human beings here. There's mistreatment of humans, understand? Mistreatment, abuse of power, racism. All of this is happening here. They had this boy pinned to the floor. We were all against the wall, all of us. We were all handcuffed and couldn't do anything because there are like 200 of them, understand? And we're talking about 18, 20, and they still abused them. Those 3 guys were handcuffed. Like 7 or 8 people jumped on them, stepped on their heads with their feet, rolled them on the floor, dragged them. That's what's happening to these 3 guys. They abuse these 3 boys. They touch us all. Our groins, our asses, to see if we brought cookies, little piece of fries, and they take it. They search us. They touch us a lot. They search and touch our whole bodies in a weird way. We feel violated. I feel violated.
They're going to...
Remember how I was talking about people lashing out because they're not getting appropriate sleep? And now you're getting reports of people that are just being tackled to the ground. They're getting searched unnecessarily. They're taking away food that the people are trying to stash because they're hungry, because they're getting 1 meal a day.
As a registered nurse of a decade, I am going to give you some insight on the 24-hour-a-day lights that are on at Alligator Alcatraz. In the hospital, we pay particularly close attention to sleep-wake cycles. We pay particularly close attention to making sure when daytime arrives, we have the lights on, the blinds open, and we have patients up and moving around. And then when nighttime comes around, we make sure to dim the lights, shut the blinds, turn the lights off at appropriate times. Now, why do we do this? Because it is incredibly important for your body to understand circadian rhythm, sleep-wake cycles, and it is imperative for your mental health to be able to distinguish daytime versus nighttime, and for your body to be able to sleep at night without the stimulation of lights. There is only one reason lights would be on 24 hours a day in Alligator Alcatraz, and that would be for a form of torture. Whenever patients start having a difficult time determining day and night cycles, and they are not sleeping well and they're not sleeping regularly, and they get things like ICU psychosis, that is not good. that is when agitation happens. That's when combative behavior starts to happen. That's when a slow slip of the mind, or sometimes a quick slip of the mind, starts to happen, because your body must be able to tell when you are supposed to be asleep and when you are supposed to be awake. And if you say, well, they're prisoners, or they're the worst of the worst, you have to really stop and look at it, because the worst of the worst can be incarcerated. I don't believe the worst of the worst are there. I believe they're people going to asylum hearings that they're arresting and revoking their asylum status. But if you say the worst of the worst are there, the worst of the worst are in a lot of prisons in America that turn the lights out. And if you're saying that you're okay with the United States government torturing people on this soil, not terroristic threats, right? People who are being deported. If you're saying that you're okay with them being tortured, because that's what that is, you must actually take a moment and reflect. To say that they're an immigrant searching for a better life, but how dare they have come on this soil to do that, therefore they should be tortured on this soil, you have lost the plot.
America has lost the plot, guys. Absolute torture, absolutely inhumane conditions, absolutely more lawsuits to come. As soon as the civil rights lawsuit is picked up in the correct jurisdiction, oh boy, they're not going to win this one. And now we're hearing DeSantis is going to open up other facilities now. Check this out.
I'm here to announce today that we are authorizing and will be soon opening this new illegal immigration detention, processing, and deportation facility here in North Florida. We are calling this the Deportation Depot. It is going to be located here at Baker Correctional Institute. It'll be able to hold more than 1,300 illegal alien detainees. You will have the same services that you have at Alligator Alcatraz. Costs will be reimbursed by our federal partners. And again, the reason of this is not to just house people indefinitely. We want to process, stage, and then return illegal aliens to their home country. That is the name of the game. We know that this is an important national priority, not only of President Trump, but of the American people.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new form of federal human trafficking for money. Right here, right now. This is what's happening. Another grift. One grift gone, new grift opens. Of our tax money. One facility after another. One after another, guys. They're going to take all the money and run. Getting it all. Taking their money and they're running. Right in front of us. Right in front of us. This is happening daily. This is going to keep happening this entire administration. For-profit prisons. Now it's immigration. Power grabs, immigration, human rights violations continue. And they're not going to stop unless we do something about it. Enter Gavin Newsom passing the redistricting. It's going to happen here in California. The special election is going to happen because of Texas gerrymandering. But they're trying to spin it and saying, oh, this is a Democrat issue. They started this already. I've already seen the clips of it online. It's god-awful and atrocious.
He says that, as a matter of fact, the cage where he's in right now, everyone is sick. And what they're doing is they're putting on a certain type, a color, different bracelet that states to the guards who's sick and who's not. But yes, there are 2 full cages right now where as they come in or they get sick, they're being put in those cages. There's a lot of people with stomach viruses, vomiting, diarrhea. There's other with respiratory issues. Could it be from the mold that they're breathing in? But everybody's being put. They're not being categorized or separated by infection. Sometimes it'll go for a day or 2 days. and they don't receive any meds. So they're trying to scare. There are people that are starting to go crazy and anxious because everybody's scared. Nobody knows what's going on with their cases. Nobody has access. And even though they tell them that their attorneys can come in, attorneys can only do so much because there's no one in the system. Right. And like Marco, everybody's in the same situation. No one has no information. Marco says it feels like they have all been kidnapped.
More to come from that, guys. It's not going to stop. Not going to stop, guys. We'll end it with a little message. At least some people in the church are waking up. Took a while. But just to show you a little bit how much they've weaponized church, people in the church, they're true believers. They're trying to wake up, guys. We'll end with this.
It's time to speak up. This is a message to my family of faith. I've been in church my entire life. I started volunteering in the nursery when I was 12 years old. I helped with vacation Bible schools. I tithed. I taught Bible studies. I opened my home for life groups. I mentored women. I showed up. I served. I stayed. And now I look around and I wonder, where's the church? Where are the voices that should be crying out for the vulnerable? Where is the righteous anger when children are ripped from their parents and thrown into cages? Where is the heartbreak when refugees are turned away when they're hungry and denied food, and when the poor are crushed by greed? How did we become so silent in the face of cruelty? How did we become more loyal to a political party than to the teachings of Jesus? I know the church was meant to be the conscience of the nation, the defenders of the weak, the peacemakers, the ones who run towards the hurting, not away. But lately I've seen too many pundits go quiet when they should be roaring like the prophets. I've seen comfort take precedence over conviction, and it breaks my heart because I still believe in the church. I believe in her purpose and I believe in her power. But I also believe we must repent, not just as individuals, but as a body, because we have failed to do what we were supposed to do. It is time to wake up. It's not too late to stand with the oppressed. It's not too late to become the church we were meant to be. But silence is no longer an option. When will you rise? When will you speak? When will you remember what Jesus told us to do? If you're not ready to say this out loud yet, then hold it right here in your heart until the fire settles into clarity, because we have work to do. If you can't do it out loud yet, whisper it as a prayer. But you have to do something. We have to. Because the truth we carry, it is holy. And the world needs it. Go love your neighbor. It's time to speak up.
Okay, well, you know, the church is kind of crazy right now, right? All these churches going nuts. Guys, I just wanted to give you an update, too. We'll get into that. We've seen a lot on my channel of mega churches. I'm not afraid to cover religion, and I know it drives a lot of people crazy. I'm not afraid to cover it. I'm not afraid to cover the hypocrisy behind it. I still think there are good people in the church, and there are still good people in churches. And if you guys want to see more good people in churches, join me tomorrow as I go to Sacramento. And guys, I just unpinned the PayPal because we made the goal. I don't know who just did it, but I received $245 for my trip to Sacramento. So thank you guys. I made my goal. Stop. Stop. Canty's going to Ukraine. I think I'm hopefully he's going to start collecting for that for extra. Thank you guys. I'm there. Thank you guys. If you want to see what an actual church looks like, tomorrow We are going to go hang out with the Sunflower Society live at a Ukrainian church where God still exists. Over here, Ukraine, a night of prayer and hope. It's going to be a Ukrainian church, guys. Sacramento Ukrainian SDA Church. We're going to do a little beautiful music, singing, heartfelt prayers, and peace and healing. An art exhibition and fundraiser featuring original works by Ukrainian artists, tea, treats, and meaningful fellowship. Let's go here. Let's go here. We'll see the difference between an American church, which we've covered, and a Ukrainian church. I haven't been to church in a decade and a half. Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be more in support of the Ukrainian people, and there'll be prayer, there'll be religion there. But I feel like it'll be a good thing for us all to be at. I really hope you guys join me on this journey. And then, after we do that, the next day, we're going to deck out our cars and do this. We're going to go cruise through Sacramento decked out for Ukrainian Independence Day with the Sunflower Society. I don't have car chalk. I hope they have some for me, but I'll deck out my shit too. Like I said earlier, thank you guys. That extra little bit there, that's gonna go to equipment. I can go get my I got my new selfie tripod right here. I got the mount for my phone so you guys can drive with me when we drive. And then I'm going to go get, now that I got the money for it, I'm going to go get a battery charger or an extra battery pack. It is at tomorrow. I think it's at like 6 o'clock. 7 p.m. It's at 7 p.m. tomorrow. I'll probably go live before that. So I'll probably be live like 6 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So stay tuned. I'll send it out there. It's going to be kind of impromptu because it's a live stream. I'm going to be on the ground. This isn't going to be from my house. We're going to be on the ground tomorrow, hanging out with Olga, Svetlana, bless her heart. I got let in. I got a place to lodge now. One of the heads is going to let me crash on the sofa. So I get to go hang out at a Ukrainian house afterwards. But I'm going to live stream this event. And then the following day, I'm going to live stream this event right here, which is super important to me. It's Ukrainian Independence Day. I'm not going to live stream the early bird breakfast. But when it comes to wrapping up the car preparations, group photo, that's going to be around 9:20, 10 a.m. We're going to start driving at 10 a.m. Car preparations, group photo, encouraging speech. I'm probably going to go live around 9 a.m. on the 24th, Pacific time. So please be tuned. Be with me there, guys. You guys help support this journey. Like I said, it's been a rough month for me financially. I flat broke after after back to school, after birthday, after taking my kids out on a well-deserved vacation that they absolutely needed. Flat broke. But the YouTube money came in a little heavier than I thought. I thought I was getting $80. It was $150. That's already really gone. I mean, it's really gone because, you know, I need stuff. My kids need stuff once in a while. The PayPal money, I just took the link down. Thank you guys. We made the goal. Like $100 over the goal. It'll go somewhere to a good cause. I'm not going to blow it on bullshit. So be there with me tomorrow. Be there with me the next day. Hit the notifications. Be live for that. You want breakfast video? I don't know about that. I want to eat. I'll take pictures. I'll share stuff from the breakfast. Now that I can go get a battery pack now. Thank God. Dude, guys, I'm telling you, I was cutting it. Thank you guys for coming through for me. When I was cutting it close on this, I had no money to go. Zero money to go. Like, pulled money out of my next paycheck just for stuff for the house. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. Please be there. I don't want this to be a small stream. Share it out. Share it out tomorrow. Make sure everybody's there. This has to be a bigger one, guys. You guys helped pay my way to do this. Please make it worth it for everybody. My channel, you guys. Hope you enjoy it. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for donating to the channel. I freaking love you guys to death. Please also support Canty Ludin, who's leaving to Ukraine very soon. I believe at the end of the month. I know he's probably going to... BB, was that you? Thank you, BB. Of course. Thank you, BB. God, you're in a hurricane and you're donating? What the hell? Someday I'll be able to pay it back. Maybe you'll need like a couple cords of wood cut in Ukraine or something. Thank you. Be there tomorrow for me, guys. Be there for me tomorrow and the next day. Canty Luden's up next. And then also, I'm going to give it to you one more time. One more time. Fundraiser will be coming up for our buddy Rowan and his great face reveal. Dude's a ham. I love it. Back off, ladies. He's married. Let's get him back home to his family and his kids, huh? All right. More to come, guys. I can't wait to see you there tomorrow. Please, tomorrow, share it out. We'll go live. We'll hit it. We'll have a good time. Thank you guys for being here. We'll cover Gavin Newsom later. It's been kind of a long stream already. I'm going to send you over after the stream, too, to Mercado Gaming, who I will be joining for some Battlefield. Battlefield. Why? Why do you say Battlefield? Because it's pretty fun. But we'll go there next. Hit you with an outro. See you all on the next one. Peace out. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, man. I couldn't do it without you. It's growing. Tell your friends. Tell your loved ones. Subscribe. Help it grow. Help it get bigger. All right. See you guys.
They wave their flags like they own the sky, shouting loud, but they don't know why. Books untouched, their minds run dry. Truth's a stranger, they pass right by. Oh, false flags flying high. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. They chant the words they barely know, hollow pride in a shallow show, pointing fingers where the winds don't blow, building walls where the rivers flow. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. A patriot's heart should beat with grace, not with fists or a hate-filled face. If love's the seed, then let it grow, not in shadows, but where light will show. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. While their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame.
Why would you think Michelle Obama's a man?
Well, do a little research. Just do a little research.
But that's like out there.
What's out there is the fact that her walking out in a skirt, and there's an obvious bulge where there shouldn't be one.
Another day. Just run till you take your last breath. There's no time to sit around being lazy. Renegade junk is gonna grind down daisy. wash your hands. Keep one eye on the bad guy and your friends. Watch for killers who shoot at you through a lens. But this is how the story always ends.